Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing okay today. But I want to start with a very honest question. Have you ever stayed quiet in a moment, even though something inside you was screaming, "This is not okay"?
Good morning, guys. And wow, that question hits hard because almost everyone listening right now has been there. That moment when you feel uncomfortable, but you smile anyway. You nod, you stay silent.
And later, when you're alone, you replay the scene in your head again and again. You think, "I should have spoken up. I should have said something. Why didn't I defend myself?"
And here's the scary part. Most people believe silence makes them mature. They think silence means strength. They think silence avoids conflict. But psychology says something very different.
Sometimes silence is not peace. Sometimes silence is permission.
Exactly. And manipulators, they understand this better than anyone. They don't need to shout. They don't need to insult you directly. They don't need drama. All they need is your silence.
Let me paint a picture. Imagine someone makes a small comment. Not rude, not aggressive, just slightly uncomfortable. You feel it in your chest, but you tell yourself it's not worth it, so you stay quiet.
Then next time, the comment is a little sharper. Still calm, still polite. Again, you feel something's wrong, but you don't react. And in that exact moment, something dangerous happens psychologically.
Your brain learns this pattern. My comfort comes second. Their behavior comes first.
And that's how manipulation begins. Not loudly, not suddenly, but slowly, quietly, strategically.
You know what's sad? The kindest people are usually the easiest targets. People who are empathetic, emotionally aware, afraid of hurting others, tired of conflict. They stay silent to protect peace.
Peace they protect comes at the cost of themselves. And manipulators can sense that. They watch how fast you forgive, how often you doubt yourself, how easily you stay silent.
And once they realize you won't speak up, they don't stop. They push a little more. They twist words. They shift blame. They make you feel guilty for reacting. And one day, you wake up thinking, why do I feel small around this person? That's not an accident. That's psychological control.
Let me ask you something important, and be honest with yourself. Have you ever stayed silent just to keep someone comfortable while you felt uncomfortable inside? If yes, this video is for you.
Because today, here on Mind Talk Lounge, we're not teaching aggression, we're teaching awareness, clarity, and calm psychological strength.
In the next part, we're going to break down how manipulators actually use silence against you and the subtle signs most people completely miss.
And trust us, once you see it, you can never unsee it.
So if you enjoy deep conversations like this, welcome back, everyone. You're not here by accident. Something in part 1 probably felt familiar.
Yeah. And if you felt a little uncomfortable listening, that's okay. Growth usually starts there. Before we go deeper, let me say this quickly. Here at Mind Talk Lounge, we don't just talk about psychology. We turn real human experiences into stories. Stories that make you stop, think, and finally, understand yourself better.
Real talk, real emotions, real psychology. Please subscribe to Mind Talk Lounge. It really helps the channel grow, and it helps us keep making stories like this for you.
All right, let's continue. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Manipulators don't start by controlling your actions. They start by controlling your reactions.
Exactly. And silence is their favorite tool because silence gives them information. They watch carefully. Did you react? Did you defend yourself? Did you question them? Or did you stay quiet?
And when you stay quiet, they learn something dangerous. They think, I can go a little further next time. So next time, they might make a joke at your expense, guilt trip you, twist your words, act innocent after hurting you.
And when you finally feel hurt and speak up, they flip the story. Suddenly, it's you're too sensitive. You misunderstood. I was just joking.
And that's when self-doubt begins. You start asking, am I overreacting? Maybe it's my fault. Why do I always feel guilty?
That's not random. That's called emotional manipulation, and silence feeds it.
Let me share a small story. A friend once told me she always stayed quiet with one specific person, not because she agreed, but because she didn't want to be seen as difficult. Over time, that person started deciding everything: what they talked about, how they talked, what was acceptable.
And she slowly disappeared in that dynamic, not physically, mentally, emotionally.
That's why this matters so much. Because when you stay quiet too long, your boundaries don't just fade, they get rewritten by someone else.
And here's something powerful. Speaking up doesn't mean yelling. It doesn't mean fighting. It doesn't mean drama. Sometimes it's just one calm sentence, like, I'm not okay with that. Please don't speak to me like that. I need a moment to think.
Those simple words can break a manipulator's control because manipulators rely on confusion. They hate clarity.
Let me ask you something and answer honestly in the comments. Have you ever stayed silent just to avoid conflict and later regretted it? Tell us your experience.
And stay with us because in part 3, we're going to talk about the psychological signs that someone is manipulating you, signs that are easy to miss but impossible to ignore once you know them.
You're not weak for staying silent in the past, but you become strong when you understand why.
Okay, let's slow down a little here because this part is important, very important. Most manipulation doesn't look dangerous. It looks normal. It looks small.
Yeah, that's why people miss it. Manipulation rarely starts loud. It starts quietly, almost politely.
Let's talk about the first sign. You constantly feel confused after talking to someone. Not angry, not sad, just confused.
You replay conversations in your head. You think, wait, what just happened? Why do I suddenly feel guilty? That confusion is not random.
Exactly. Manipulators mix truth with doubt. They say something hurtful, then smile, then act normal. Your brain gets tired trying to understand.
Second sign, you feel like always explaining yourself. Every feeling, every reaction, every boundary.
And somehow, no matter how calmly you explain, they still don't get it, or they pretend not to.
That's because they don't want understanding. They want control.
Third sign, you feel smaller after interacting with them. Not openly attacked, just less confident, less sure, less you.
That's a big one. Healthy conversations leave you feeling clear. Manipulative ones leave you feeling drained.
Let me ask you something. Be honest. After talking to certain people, do you feel lighter or heavier? Tell us in the comments.
Now, here's the part most people ignore. Your body knows before your mind does. Tight chest, heavy stomach, low energy. Those are signals.
And when you ignore those signals long enough, your confidence starts to disappear quietly.
That's why on Mind Talk Lounge, we don't just talk about psychology as facts. We talk about how it feels, because feelings are information.
If this conversation is making sense to you, please subscribe to Mind Talk Lounge. We create stories that help you understand yourself and protect your peace.
And don't leave yet, because in part 4, we'll talk about what to say when manipulation happens in real life. Simple words, calm responses, no drama.
You don't need to fight. You just need clarity.
You know, Emma, there's one moment that changes everything. It's when you finally notice the pattern. Not once, not twice, but again and again. You realize every time you speak, they twist your words. Every time you stay quiet, they get stronger. That's when silence stops being peaceful. It becomes dangerous.
Yes, and this is where so many people feel stuck. They say, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm too sensitive. But deep inside, your body already knows the truth. Your chest feels tight, your mind feels tired, and your confidence feels smaller every day. That's not weakness, that's awareness waking up.
Exactly. Manipulators don't shout first. They slowly teach you to doubt yourself. They say things like, you're imagining things, you're too emotional, you always make problems. And if you don't respond, those words start living rent-free in your head.
This is why speaking up matters, even softly. You don't need to argue. You don't need to explain your whole soul. Sometimes one calm sentence is enough, like, I don't feel okay with this. Please don't speak to me that way. Let's pause this conversation. Those words are small, but their impact is huge.
And here's something powerful most people don't know. Manipulators hate clarity. They survive on confusion. They need emotional fog. The moment you become clear, even if your voice shakes, their control starts breaking.
I want to ask everyone listening right now, have you ever stayed quiet just to keep peace, but lost yourself in the process? Tell us honestly in the comments. You're not alone here.
And if you're watching this on Mind Talk Lounge, this is exactly why we create these stories. Not to scare you, but to remind you of your power. We talk about the mind, emotions, boundaries, and real-life situations no one prepares you for. If this conversation feels like it's describing your life, please take a second and subscribe. You deserve content that protects your mind, not drains it.
One more important thing before we move forward. Speaking up doesn't mean becoming aggressive. It means becoming grounded. Calm voice, clear words, strong boundaries. That balance is something manipulators can't stand because they can't control it.
And when they realize they can't control you anymore, they change tactics. Some get quiet, some play the victim, some suddenly act kind again. That moment is critical, and what you do next decides everything.
And this is the moment many people miss. When the manipulator changes their face, suddenly they are kind. Suddenly they say sorry. Suddenly they act confused and hurt. Not because they understand you, but because they feel you slipping away.
Yes, this is where awareness becomes strength. You don't need to react fast. You don't need to explain everything again. Sometimes the strongest response is calm distance. Because when someone truly respects you, they don't need control to stay close.
I want everyone listening to hear this clearly. If you had to shrink yourself to keep someone comfortable, that connection was never safe. Real connection feels steady. It feels respectful. It feels free.
And freedom is the one thing manipulators cannot fake. The moment you stop defending yourself, the moment you stop over-explaining, the moment you trust your inner voice, you take your power back.
Let us ask you something important. Have you ever noticed how peaceful life feels when you stop engaging in emotional games? Tell us in the comments. Your experience might help someone else feel less alone.
This is why we always say on Mind Talk Lounge, your mind is your home. Protect it, train it, respect it. If this story helped you see things more clearly, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We share stories that heal, not manipulate.
And remember, you don't need to fight everyone. You don't need to win every argument. Sometimes walking away with your self-respect is the biggest victory of all.
You deserve relationships that feel safe, conversations that feel honest, and a life where your silence is a choice, not fear.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for listening with an open heart.
We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for listening. Take care of your mind.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.